Hello, guys. Welcome back to my world of Instagram conversations. How is everyone? I hope you're all doing awesome. Like always, I am back once again with another guest, with another story to inspire you, to tell you to move on. Life goes on. You're strong and you're phenomenal. Without any further delay, let me bring her on and we will start our conversation with her. And we're all set to bring on our guest and start from there. There we go.
Hello!
Hello
I'm
there.
so excited. Oh,
I
you're so
know,
beautiful.
right?
Hi. I'm gonna put this over here. Cool.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
dive in with our conversation. I want you to self introduce yourself
Okay.
and we'll take it from there.
Okay. My name is Amber. I am 31 years old now. I live here in Colorado, in the beautiful US of A. And I am a single, full-time mommy. I have a 3.5-year-old. She'll be 4 in April. What day? Right, April. What day is it today? I run my own business, Create Your Glow. I think I'm going to switch it though just to my name as Amber Legato, which I am going to change my last name to Legato. That is not actually my last name for anyone who doesn't know that, but Legato is a name that my sister and I have built up, and it just means bound together. And so I am building a family of people who are bound together and sharing love with other people. That is what my business mission is to change perspective, to help people find what love really is, what unconditional love means, and that it lives within them now. And that is me. That is what I do. That is who I am. And I'm really, really happy to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Uh, I think that was a very beautiful introduction. I loved it. And before we
Thank you.
continue with our conversation, I love your hair. Can I have it? I love the
Thank
color.
you.
I love the way it falls. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Let's talk about that first. How did you get
Thank
that
you.
done?
I did it myself, Milish. I did it
I
myself.
know. I
It's so
All
crazy.
right.
So
How did
one
you do
thing,
it? Let's talk about that.
okay. One thing also, I run my own business. I also run a business partnership with a vegan hair and skincare brand, Monate, Modern Nature. And their products are so amazing. And I've learned a lot in this business about what's really going on in our economy, what's really going on with big businesses, what's really going on with us as consumers. And I have never done anything like this with my hair until this last year because I was terrified to bleach my hair. I've bleached my hair maybe 3 times in my lifetime. And every time my hair was so fried and just crazy mess that I never wanted to touch it again. Well, come to find out that our hair reacts so deeply to bleach the way it does because of the products that we are being sold over the counter in most of our grocery stores. They are made with harsh chemicals that are bad for your skin, for your hair, for your body, for your mind, everything. And I didn't know that. And I learned that. And most of it was done on my own research. So as soon as I started using these products and seeing how healthy my hair was becoming, I was like, all right, I'm going to put this to the test. I'm going to bleach my hair. And I have bleached my hair 4 times in the last 5 or 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And I've dyed it maybe 4 times with color. And
Oh,
it's amazing. My hair just, I'm in love. I'm in love with the crazy. I love the crazy. And it grew in
okay.
fuller than ever because postpartum hair loss, that's a thing. We lose our hair when
Oh,
we have our babies.
yes,
It thins
yes.
out, it gets really thin. I thought it was the hair dye, but it was definitely the postpartum hair loss. And so my hair grew in a lot fuller. And I actually have shaved off the bottom half of my hair because it's
Wow.
so full, it's giving me a headache.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so that is I just did I bleached it, and I
Mm-hmm.
got this awesome stuff called Unicorn Hair by Lime Crime, and I just piled on the color. So much fun.
Oh, it looks phenomenal. I love it. It's
Thank
so
you.
unique. And and and
Yes.
and it just lights up your face and gives you
Thank
that
you.
glow. It's
Yes.
perfect.
Somebody told me you wear it so well, and I said, really it's about bravery, courage, and the choice to feel happy. When you choose those things, you glow with those things. Like, you have to choose them. When you're feeling this feeling of just ultimate happiness, you guys, everybody sees it. Everybody sees it in your eyes, in the way you talk, in your passion,
Mm,
in your excitement for life. Everyone sees it. Everyone. So
right.
it's not about one person wearing it better than you. It's about you choosing to wear it as good as you can. That's how I am.
Yes. I hear you, girl. I'm with you on that.
I love it.
All right, Amber. So let's talk about abuse and let's talk about narcissism. So
Let's do it, girl. It's the problem
let's
of the
do it.
world. Everybody
It
needs to hear
is.
about it.
Yeah. So let's just begin with your story and then we can just take the conversation more deeper after that.
Awesome. So my story begins with my parents' story, which, for a long time I was really scared to share because it's not my story to share, but actually it is, because their story is what created my story.
Mm,
And I think when people take the time to step back and look at not just their past, but their family's past and where their family comes from, we find understanding. And when we find understanding, we find a little bit of peace. And when we find a little bit of peace, we find forgiveness. And forgiveness is the key to moving forward in life. It's the key to
mm,
happiness. It's the key to joy. It's the key to fulfillment. It's the key to
mm,
whole completeness in this life. And so, when you start going backwards into history and into the times that we've been raised in, it makes sense why narcissism is the problem in the world. And so for me, I feel like I have one of the most narcissistic parents of all time. But I mean, that's my personal vibe. That's my personal
mm,
feeling. And,
mm,
it took me a really, really long time to accept that in order to be a bright light, you have to come from some of the darkest places. And my dad definitely came from one of the darkest places. One of the worst places for me is in America. Like, this is for me. I know that this is not for everyone. I know that there are far worse places that I am grateful that I have never had to experience. But I have experienced the low of, like, white supremacy. I have experienced the low of racism, of full on judgmental ignorance, and that comes from our I believe our unintelligent side of life in the U.S. And
mm. Amber, you were breaking. Just hold on there. Okay, now I can hear you.
I'm just going to hold you guys here. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay,
fine.
perfect. Sorry. Okay, so my dad came from
That's all
Indiana,
right.
and Indiana is definitely one of those
Okay.
states where our white supremacist culture, our chauvinistic, our very narcissistic place in the U.S. comes from those states that are unintelligent with life in general, with what love is, with what God is. They've been brainwashed to believe that God is controlling, that God sees all, that God is like a man that governs and controls what we do with our lives. But that isn't what God is. God is love. It says it in the Bible. It says it,
Mm,
I'm sure, in the Quran. It says it in so many different religions, with Buddhism, with Hinduism, with all the religions that are out there. Love is the core of it. And love is
mm.
whole. It's unconditional, right? So I was raised Christian,
Okay.
um, but the kind of Christian was like Baptist and Pentecostal kind of mixed together, the holy revival of the Lord, just that really
I hear
intense.
you. Huh.
Yes, if you
Mm-hmm.
if you sin, you go to hell, but if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you get into heaven. That is what we were taught. That is what I was raised to believe in for most of my life. And most of the fights that I had with my dad when I was young were about what the Bible said. They were about, my dad was very much, your children shall honor thy father and thy mother. That was the biggest thing of my entire childhood that my dad preached into our lives. And we were going to be good children or else. Like, my dad spanked me all the way up until I was 13. when
Ooh.
I was done being spanked, and he stopped across the board with spanking. So like
Mm.
my younger sister is sitting here with
You are okay. I got you back.
talking every time
It's
it
okay.
happens, but yeah, I
That's all
stop
right.
talking every time it happens because I want to make sure I don't miss anything with you. So um
Yeah.
but yeah, so the Bible was like it. God was it in my family, and we prayed
Mm.
before every meal. We prayed before bed, and if we didn't hold up a certain standard for my dad, then we were disobedient and rebellious children. And
Mm.
that's how I was raised. That is
Mm.
what I believed that humankind was supposed to be. So I too grew up with a little bit of prejudice, a little bit of racism, a little bit of homophobia, a little bit of just. I was thinking about this last night talking to a gentleman that I find myself attracted to, but I was telling him about how certain things with my daughter, like, and, sorry, I'm trying to remember the conversation. I had a lot of the conversation in my head because I'm a
Okay.
corrective personality, and
Mm.
that correctiveness comes from how I was taught to be. I was taught to be such a specific way. The house needed to be clean to a certain degree. Food needed to be a certain type of way that if it wasn't good food. My dad was a cook. He worked in Village Inn for a long time. Okay, so here's the other side, you guys. These people in our lives who are narcissistic, they're narcissistic because they don't have the life they dream of. Things are not in their control. They are fighting so hard for control in their life and they can't find
Mm.
it. So they have no peace
Mm.
within themselves and they feel like if they control other people, that they have control in their life. But that isn't where we get control. Control comes from within.
Mm.
So
True.
I, in my childhood, I was kicked out of youth group. I was super rebellious in a lot of ways, but I was actually a very good kid. I just got in trouble in strange predicaments. Like I got in trouble in youth group for drinking alcohol with my sister and inviting another youth group kid to drink alcohol with me. We were young. We weren't 21. We were probably 17. The other
Oh,
girl was
okay.
17. My sister was like 15. She was 15. She was almost, nope. You were 14 or 15. This is embarrassing to like admit to it, but like, because we were young, but we didn't
Mm.
really like party like a lot of the kids that were in our age group. I didn't. I know you didn't. We were really, really good kids because we were sheltered and like
Mm.
tried to be controlled to be a certain type of way. Yeah. So sorry. I don't mean to like go on rants or
No, no, no,
rampages.
you're fine.
It
You're fine.
happens a
And that
lot.
makes so much sense what you're saying right now because I've seen and I've understood that religion is used as a tool to control you,
Absolutely.
and that is so hurtful because when you grow up you have such a messed up concept about God and religion,
Absolutely. I have
and
chills.
and, and that's why people run from religion because of
Absolutely.
this is the reason. And for me, uh in my hardest times, my religion was the reason for me to grow and fight my struggle because I found God when I was alone, when there was no one with me. And
Absolutely.
that was so liberating. And I was like, what I have been taught is totally wrong because God is not, and it's the same thing. You sin, you go to hell. You sin, you go to hell. And I was like, this is not what God is saying. God is said that you are imperfect, you are going to make mistakes, you are going to
Absolutely.
sin, you just need to repent sincerely and try not to do that again, and if you do it again, repent again.
So
And
so
I was
my struggle
mm-hmm.
as a kid, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No,
so
no.
my struggle with it was that right there was
Mm,
that the Bible said things like repent, but the Bible also said that God was unconditional, that there were no conditions that we needed to meet in order for God to love us. And
mm,
so there's something in it for me. that has changed a lot. Because when I was young, that is what I had, was church. I went to church every day of the week. I was at church every single day because I thought that's where my family was. I thought that's where my love was coming from. And what's important for people to understand is that even in religion, it tells you that God is within you. God is within you. God is always with you. You have your mind and God with you 100% of the time. I remember hearing that in church a lot. And it was so beautiful because, yes, God is with you. God is in you. God is the only thing that hears you. Always, 100,000% of the time. I remember people would say, you could say all the things that you want to say on the outside, but what are you saying on the inside? What's going on in your mind? What kind of person are you on your mind? So my dad was this very religious, very thick of the Bible man. He read the Bible back to back all the time. Like, he's read it probably a good 20 times in his life so far. He's read it so much. He reads it every single day. And we had this conversation one time. It was like a 3.5 hour conversation when I was like 22 or 23. And that night I realized my dad was crazy, one, and two, he misinterprets the Bible so much. So this led me onto a journey to understand why people misinterpret things like the Bible. Or there's so many different Bibles out there too. Like,
Yeah.
it just proves to see how humankind interprets things differently, especially as they get interpreted. Is that what I'm trying to think? Like, sorry. But so I speak another language. I speak Spanish, and I know you speak
Okay.
another language as well. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Urdu.
So I love this. So I want everyone to think about how when we speak a different language, thank you. That's like a big one. Just a bit. Sorry. So when we speak a different language to English, I want you all to think about how when you're trying to translate something to English, how difficult it is because one word in another language means so many different things. Because when
Exactly.
I try to translate Spanish to English, or if I try to translate English to Spanish, it's really hard to get the exact word because English has so many words. So I believe that all of these Bibles, all of these religions, I believe that they are all correct, but they're all interpreted differently based on the translation of whoever was feeling into it in that moment. So
True.
if God is love, God is not a man. God is not a father. God is not a king. God is not a lord. God is not any of those things. God does not govern us. God is just this energy of love. And you've all felt it. When you feel your highest point, your highest state of being, you get chills all over from head to toe. You feel so good. It is like ecstasy. That is what love is. And when you feel love, you need to know that that is the direct tap in. That's like plugging into God. That is literally what God is. It's a feeling, it's a vibe, it's an energy. It is an all powerful source. I believe that's what the sun is made of, is God. That's why back in the thousands and thousands of years ago, the Mayans worshiped the sun because that's what they thought was God. Because it was so powerful. It was so manipulative to our world. If it was too close, we would burn up. If it was too far away, we'd freeze. So we worshipped the sun thinking the sun was God, but really God is like the sun. It's an energy. It's just, it lives in all of us. If you've seen the movie Avatar, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's like with the blue aliens and stuff, and he gets to like tap into the blue alien. But they have this thing they call Aowa. And Aowa is the energy that flows through the trees, through the ground, through the animals, through the people. It flows through everything, and it is made up of memories. And when you think about, Spanish culture with Dia de Muertos, Dia de Muerto, the day after Halloween, when you think about how they believe that if they hold your picture up every year and remember you, that they keep your soul alive, that's powerful. That is exactly what it is. We are keeping each other alive through memories. Like all of these famous people that are passing away, their energy is still alive as long as we listen to their music and watch their movies and rewatch their acts over and over. And our memory lives with our families over and over and over again until they forget us. And I watched the movie Coco with my daughter, and that's where that just comes from. Sorry. I know I get really passionate, but just so when we talk about like repenting and things, I think that word repenting, I think that what it really means is forgiveness of self, because when we sin, when we do things that create negative vibrations, we separate ourselves from God. We separate ourselves from the energy that lives within us. And so that's why it's so easy sometimes for people to say, well, God isn't real. I don't feel God. I don't witness God. And it's because they hold themselves at that level of vibration that they can't feel God. That doesn't mean that God isn't living directly within their very being with them all the time, trying to show them God is real, God is here, God is right now. And when we say the word repent, I truly believe that Jesus tried to tell us, well, it's not really about asking for forgiveness. It's about you forgiving yourself and letting it go and moving forward. But until we
Oh,
understand,
okay, Amber, I
oh,
lost you.
sorry. Ah, okay, are we back? Am I good?
Okay, I have you
Okay,
back.
okay,
Yes, yeah.
sorry. All right, well, yeah.
Mm.
Hi. I'm
Hi,
getting ready
welcome
to
back.
drop off my sister. Yes. So I am going to park and sit so we can just chat. Sorry. I
No,
just
you're
wanted to
good. Yeah,
clarify
and what you're saying is so right, because where you spoke about the Bible and people having so many translations, I think
mhm.
with the Quran it's the same thing, and that's why I see most of our religious scholars speak about it, that read the Quran, because the Quran is the direct word of God. So when people are interpreting it, whether it's in English, whether it's in Urdu, whatever language they are doing it to the best understanding they have. So when they read the verses, they they what they understand is what they're writing in the translation. That
Be
is
right back.
why that is why we have so many different sects, and where this sect believes this to be in the Quran, and this sect believes this to be in the Quran. So that is why it's so encouraged in our religion to understand the language in itself, so that you can talk to God directly, because
Yeah.
that is God's way of communicating with you directly.
Mhm. I love that. And
Yeah.
it's true. God talks to you on a daily basis. The whole
Mm-hmm.
idea is that there's a scripture in the Bible, it's like Psalms, and it talks about how we are God's because we are children of the Most High. It talks about how us in human form, we have a power like none other to create a life that we dream of
Mm-hmm.
if we're tapped into the Most High. So there's this whole aspect that, give and receive, right? Ask and it is given. What you
Given, yeah.
give is what you're given back. That's the idea of
Mm-hmm.
karma. It's the idea of the golden rule. Do unto others of what you want them to do unto you. But people don't understand the law of attraction, that's the same thing. The law of
Mm-hmm.
attraction is you get what you think about, you get what you vibe out. And
Mm-hmm.
so what people don't understand is that all of these books, all of them are trying to express to you that you have more say than you think you do. You have more control in your life than you even realize. And God has been
Realize.
trying to tell you your whole life. The thing
Exactly.
is that we allow other people to have the control and the power. Thank you. Love you. Bye. um you have the control and the power of what happens in your life, and it's all about whether or not you lead with love. It's all about whether or not you allow yourself to give the power to God, love, source, the universe, the high emotion, the high feelings of what is surrounding you. And that's what I love. That's what I love the most about all of it, is that all of it says love is above all. Love is everything. And when you devote your life to love, when you devote your life to peace, when you devote your life to forgiveness, everything turns around. And that's what I've been experiencing for the last 5 years. Forgiving my dad has been the hardest thing in the entire universe to really get through. And now I'm learning that even harder than that is forgiving yourself for all the things that you did out of learning what they did, out of learning how they hurt you, and then doing it again to someone else. It's harder to forgive yourself for the things that you've done than it is for you to forgive the things that they've done. And forgiveness isn't necessarily for them, it's for you.
Yourself, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I
Definitely,
love
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Yeah, most definitely. I also believe that when you're holding hate or anything in your heart for someone, it's just blocking you from moving on. So you need to forgive yourself and you need to forgive them, so your heart could just let it go and you can move on.
Hmm. Absolutely. I did a live yesterday talking about how difficult it is to let go of the things that you were raised with. Like for me, my hardest thing is having hatred towards myself, because now I'm a mom. I have a 3-year-old and I get angry. I get impatient. I get frustrated. And those are things that I come naturally by because of how I was raised. And so my frustration is with me, because it's so easy for me to fall into the temptation of impatience, to fall into the temptation of frustration and irritation. And then I react, because when you're not calm, you become reactive. You become a person of you just think in your mind constantly. And for me, I can easily self-destruct myself with my mind. So
Mm,
I have made my life purpose about dedicating myself to love, to sharing with others, like that this life experience we've all chosen, it's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be cake. It's not meant to be something that is perfect and neat and look a certain way. Like, you live this life on purpose, because messy, it is so beautiful and so
mm,
perfect, the way that you do it, the way that
mm,
you choose to learn or to love or to be greater than you ever imagined. And that's where that whole idea of God lives within you. God experiences life through your eyes. And when you choose love, when you choose to be unconditional, really cool things start to happen. God really shows you how powerful
mm.
you are as an attractor, as a messenger for love. It's really cool.
Yes, yes, that
Mm-hmm.
totally resonates with me. So talk more about how did you, what was the watershed moment when you realized that, oh, something is off with my dad, and if he's a narcissist or, you know,
I had heard the term narcissist when I was young.
okay,
I heard
okay,
that term a couple of times, but I didn't really know what it meant. And over this journey, this self discovery journey that I've been led to through the business partnership that I've been doing with the vegan hair and skincare, like, I didn't know the community that I was joining, and when I joined them, they're everything to me, because they have guided me through this amazing personal development journey of really figuring out who I am, of really figuring out what I'm capable of doing, and how I can be the very best version of myself. And once I started this journey, I started talking to this girlfriend of mine through a marital problem that she'd been having, and her ex-husband is a narcissist, but I didn't know that yet. I didn't understand that term directly yet. And I just helped her understand herself and her power and the love that she has for self. Because sometimes, you guys, the unconditional love that we need to be feeling is for ourselves. We need to make better decisions for who we really are. Because if we
mm,
don't, then we're not truly showing us the love that we deserve by making a choice to stay in a relationship that actually destroys you, that makes you
mm,
feel ill every time you show up with them. If that's how you're
mm,
feeling, it's not okay. You're not loving yourself. And I've watched somebody in my life do that for years and years and years. So,
mm,
like, it's in my passion, to really share that with others. So I shared that with her, and I helped her through her breakup. I helped her find the courage in herself to leave this relationship. And then a few weeks later, she moved out. She changed her name back. She took her life back. I watched it all happen. It was really beautiful. And then one day, she posted narcissism posts on her story, and I read them, and I resonated so deep. It was triggering. It was all the things that my dad was, all of them.
mm,
He still is today. And then reading the fact that narcissists, most of the time, don't change, because they never see themselves as the problem. They never see
mm,
themselves as the narcissist. They never take that responsibility. And I'm like, wow, I really needed to read that, because that is everything I needed to do to let go of my dad, to let go of the he'll never change who he is. Because
mm,
that always terrifies you when you have a child around a narcissist, and you know that they're influential, you know that they're manipulative, you know who they are, And to raise your
Mm,
kid around them is terrifying sometimes because you fear what your child might learn from that narcissist because you know what you learned from that narcissist. So
mm,
that's hard for me sometimes, but reading that they never change was really helpful for me to just let go and just be stronger in who I want to be and a stronger influence in my child's life. And also, it really made me dive hard into entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship it frees up all your time, so you actually get to spend all the time that you need to with your family. So I got to quit my full-time serving job, and really dive very hard into entrepreneurship. I have 4 different sources of income now so that I can spend all of my time with my child. So it's really cool. But yeah, so just that was my first introduction to narcissism. And then Pax from the narc abuse page, which I think you might have found me from, because we did an interview together, I think a month or so ago. And I started talking to him prior to the interview, probably about a month. We had just been kind of back and forth about our posts, just really supporting each other's pages. And I loved
oh,
his page, like bringing attention to narcissism, what it is. Did you lose me? Sorry.
mm.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Um, so yeah, watching his narc abuse page and just like getting all that information, like it just kept kind of rehashing things from my childhood, but also letting me really explore my dad's past and understanding him better. Um, Not necessarily accepting his behavior, but just knowing where I am, knowing that I can do this without like putting all of my attention and my focus into the narcissist. Because when you do that, you give them the power and they manifest more problems into your life and more
Mm,
stress and more frustration. So when you give your
mm,
power away, you don't allow yourself to grow and you don't allow your life to change. But when you start to put all of your attention and your focus to love and to the power of love and to what love can do in your life, you attract better relationships. You attract people who need to hear your story. You attract everything that you need to use that story as something good for others, as something that
mm.
helps others grow. So, yeah. But yeah.
Wow, wow. Yeah. Um, that is amazing. And I totally agree. I think that not just narcissist people, but people who are toxic, people who mess up with your head, who try to control you, you really need to move back and think about it because it makes you so unhappy. And when you are unhappy, the people who you truly love, uh, you mess them up as well because
Mm-hmm.
you're messed up in your head because
Yep.
of that. In I was living in US for 7 years, and I just recently, well, it's been over 1.5 year that I moved back to my country. And one of the things that I struggle with, like you're saying, is that I lived my whole life in my country, so I didn't know anything better. And the way it was, what it wasn't, that was my life. That was the bubble I was living in my whole life. And then being away, living in US for 7 years, and then coming back, knowing that this is reality here, it still did hit me till I came back, and I was like, shit, what's going on here? Because I've grown up with these things. And then I realized I was so toxic myself, and it was because of the culture, and it was about the society and how we need to present ourselves. So everything was toxic for me. And everybody was like, what's wrong with you? It's always been like that. And I was like, yes, I was like that. But now it bothers me because this is so wrong. No wonder people are more frustrated and
Yes.
angry in my
Yes.
country. I mean, the frustration level is like, oh my gosh. I mean, even I'm talking about in just homes also. You get up and everybody's frustrated. And it's just because nobody's allowed to be themselves. Nobody's
Yes.
allowed to feel themselves. You
Yes.
cannot wake up and come out of the room saying this or doing this. I mean, little things which goes such a long way. And I was like, I cannot do this. I
No.
cannot. And I went in a shell where I wasn't communicating with anybody. And for a very long time, I was just blaming. the outside, that it's their fault, you're wrong and you're wrong and you. And then it took me a while where I started realizing that God gave me the opportunity to get away from it, to realize
To wake up.
what I to wake up. And then when I came back, I need to wake up people now. Like, hey, snap
Yes.
out. You need to
Yes.
live for yourself.
Yes.
Live with your own life standards. Nobody sets your standards for you. Yeah,
I'm so
and
excited.
yes, and be unapologetically yourself. And don't feel bad about it. As long as you're not genuinely hurting somebody or harming somebody, you don't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk, whether you're a woman, whether you're a boy, whether you're a man. I don't care. You're happy the way you are. It's cool with me.
And this is
Go for
happening
it.
all over the world. This is not
Mm,
just in your culture. This is not just in my culture. This is happening all over the world. This is happening in North Korea. This is happening in China. This is happening everywhere, you guys. People are
mm,
being controlled to live life a certain way, and they're being manipulated
mm,
through government, through religion, through parental, social, cultural things. For the U.S., the biggest thing that is controlling the U.S. is social media and TV and the news and the paparazzi. Like literally, everyone is being manipulated through their mind, and that's why it's so important to connect through your inner source. Because if you're
that's
not
so true.
connecting to self, if you're not
Mm.
connecting here, you are just being controlled by
With every single
everything.
thing. You
Yeah,
know.
everything
Mm,
around you. You're giving the power to
mm,
everything you see because you
mm,
believe everything you see. But if you want
mm,
your life to be different, if you want things to settle, if you want to feel good, if you don't want to feel stressed, you have to connect to your inner source. Because when you do that, when you put yourself in a higher vibrational thought process, emotion, feeling, vibe, when you put yourself higher, what happens is you don't make time for all the other bullshit. You don't make
right. Hell
time
yeah.
for your
Mm,
neighbors. You don't make
mm,
time for your family. You don't make time for the friends that you thought were your friends who actually just create more stress and drama in your life. You don't make
mm-hmm.
time for your spouses. You don't make time for your children if they're the people that are involved in the things that stress you out. You just don't make time for all of those things. And what you will find is that because you have connected to your inner source, which is God, God
Mm,
will guide your feet in the direction of your purpose driven path. You and I have the same goal. We are here to
mm,
wake people up. We are here to show people how they are doing things that are just to fall in line instead of living their highest purpose and their best path. And that is not a purpose driven life, but this world is waking up. People are
mm,
starting to open their eyes and people are starting to
mm,
recognize that they can choose which path they want to walk on. I believe that that is where God told us that we had a choice to choose God or to not choose God. It's our
so true.
choice to choose our
Mm,
path or to not choose our path. It's our
that is
choice.
absolutely correct.
It is
Mm-hmm.
our choice to sit on the couch and watch Netflix for days in depression and anxiety of what we're not
Mm,
doing, of what we did before, of how our life isn't going the way we want it to, of how all that trauma happened to us. We don't know what to do with our life. It's your choice to sit there and wallow, or
mm,
it is your choice to stand up and realize that you only ever get today. You only get this present moment. You only will ever open your eyes and see life before your eyes. And if you
mm,
choose in those moments to think about the past or to think about the future, which neither of
mm,
them are right here, right now, you
mm.
neglect your very God given gift of this moment.
That's absolutely correct. And that's what I talk about. And that's what I tell people that get out of that victim mode. You need to snap out, because I know I've lived my life being a victim, saying, "Oh, nobody understands me, nobody say," and now I'm like, I don't give a damn. You say
Nope.
something, okay, it's falling away. It's not going in my system. It's not spoiling my vibration. Okay, bye bye. See you later.
Bye.
Yeah. And it's okay. Some people are good. They're good. But if you don't match my vibe, or if you're uncomfortable around me, that's the door. You can go out from there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I got a lot to do, and I don't have time for petty issues or these things. And I think that COVID-19 has been a blessing in disguise with all the.
Amen.
Yes, because everybody around the globe, like you said, are awakening in different ways. But people are awakening, people are understanding that how media has conditioned them, or how religion has been used as a power to condition them, and how ABCDEF things have been set out as we were born, that this is how life is going to be. And like you said, it is, that's what I tell people, that once you partake on the journey of healing and self-awareness, it is so liberating, it is so empowering,
Mm-hmm.
that you were like, I missed out on life so much. Really? For what? So it is, I mean, I wish I could just touch somebody and let them feel what I'm feeling right now, for those people
Absolutely.
who are stuck, because it's so beautiful on the other side. And I'm not trying to say that I don't think what you're saying is valid. Your trauma is valid. Everything you say or what you've been through is valid. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just one side of the story. The other
Absolutely.
side is, when are you going to step out of it for yourself?
Absolutely. And here's the
When
best
are you
part.
going
I listen
to?
to
Mm-hmm,
Abraham Hicks, and my favorite thing that Abraham says is, in order to feel what we're feeling, in order to feel this high vibration, you have to go through the negative vibration. You have to be stuck. You have to feel like you can't go anywhere. You have to feel those things so that when you get to where we are, to total freedom, to feeling like you have all the control in your entire reality at your fingertips, it feels so good. You will never go back. You will never ever allow somebody else to take your momentum away, to kill your buzz. Have you ever told somebody
mm-hmm,
they're a buzzkill? It's because you
mm-hmm,
allowed them to be a buzzkill. You'll never let anyone kill your buzz again. You'll never let anyone decide where you're headed, because when you have hit your lowest of low and then you feel this high, and then you think, wow, it only gets better from here because I choose to let it get better from here, you'll never, ever give that control over again. Ever.
mm-hmm.
That is
Right, right,
powerful. That is
right.
beautiful. And
Mm-hmm,
for me, like, I just, it's a constant battle for people like me and May Wish, because we want the best for everyone. We want them to wake up. We want them to see their reality. We want them to know that they have all the power and the control. But we also know that there is everything in divine timing. We know that in moments like those, we have an opportunity to speak. We have an opportunity to teach, and we have an opportunity to plant a seed. And it's not our say of when that seed grows, of how it
true.
grows. It is that seed's job to just grow, and we just water it and love them deeply. So for us, it's a matter of like navigating through the mud and the muck. It's
Right,
navigating through the
right.
people who feel icky, because sometimes we can hang with those people all day and just love on them and be their light and their joy. But sometimes that icky muck is triggering and so icky that we actually have to step away, because if we don't, then we detriment our high vibration. And our high
Mm.
vibration is very important to us. So
Yes,
for us, it's
yes.
like, okay, we just don't want to mess with you today. Don't take it personal. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to take a me day. Have a nice day. I'll see you later.
Exactly. I think it's like we are here to serve the purpose of God, and we are doing it for others. And once they reach the point where they need to be, I think sometimes our paths just divide, and we go our way and they go their way. But the whole purpose is that we get to that level where, we're setting it out, we're setting the right vibe, the right frequency. And I wanted to mention, since you said that earlier, is yeah, I saw you on Narc TV. Is That's what his page is. But Paxton
Oh, yeah.
was on my live stream um,
Yeah.
in July. That's
He's
how I met
awesome.
him. He
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. And I've spoken to him a couple of times, and I was like, oh my God, where were you all those years? And he's really amazing. And we had a really good conversation. We had a really long, good conversation. So he's truly such an amazing guy, and he's doing such amazing work. And a big shout out to him as well.
Yes, big
So
shout out. We love
Amber,
you.
while we wrap up, yes, uh, uh, when we wrap up now, and I want you to what you want to say to people who are right now watching you, who are stuck in a narcissist relationship, or who are stuck in any kind of toxic or abusive relationship, or in general just stuck at a bad point. What message do you want to give them?
Faith and fear, they don't go together. One is miraculous and the other is destructive. And You can choose to feel one or the other. You can choose to feel both. You kind of go up in a roller coaster, but understand that both of them are very powerful. Fear can lock you up and make you feel powerless, make you feel like
Mm.
you'll never be able to do things. Fear is, I believe, what the devil represents. It's temptation to feel things, it's temptation to talk yourself into a certain direction that just isn't real. Fear feeds you lies, it feeds you insecurities, it feeds you impossibilities, and it's just as eternal as faith. Both of
And
them
it
are the
kills
same.
relationships.
Yes, both of them are the
Mm.
same on totally different aspects. So,
Mm.
in order to leave, in order to get out, you have to have faith that nothing bad is going to happen to you. And faith is about believing in something that you can't see. But let me tell you, the things that you fear are also things that have never happened, that you don't know are possible, and that you have no control or say over. So if you choose
True.
to have fear, you choose to fear something that's never happened. Why don't you have faith in something that hasn't happened before? Why don't you feed
Mm.
your faith bigger than you fed your fear for the last however many years you've been sitting where you sat? As long as you continue to feed your fear, you will stay right where you are because you believe so deeply in your fear, because you have nurtured it, you have cared for it. It is the tree that is growing on the side of your leg that is so rooted and attached to you. And it isn't the narcissist that feeds that fear. It is you that feeds that fear. I remember when my dad spanked me. Do you want to know why he stopped when I was 13? Because it got to a point where I could look at him in the eyes and turn around quietly and bend over and not cry when he spanked me. I was not afraid of that man. I was not afraid of him hitting me. I was not going to let him break my soul and my spirit. He could not have my soul or my spirit. He could spank me, he could ground me, he could take all the shit away from me, he could try his mightiest to ground me. But I knew the moment that I turned 18, I became in control of my reality. I became responsible for who I am. So if you're over 18, I want you to know right now, you are a human being. You are not governed. You are not controlled by
At
any
all.
human force in the
Mm.
world but yourself. So you need to
Mm.
take responsibility for the fact that you either choose to feel fear or to choose faith. When you choose faith, I promise you, if you just believe for 17 seconds that everything is working out for you and not against you, you will watch miracles happen in your life. You will watch God take the very narcissist that controls you out of your freaking life, and it will be amazing. It will be so blessed and so
Mm.
powerful that you will have a story to tell other people in your life who are controlled by narcissists, who are controlled by toxic people, by mentally abusing, manipulative people. There are so many out there right now. I
Mm.
promise you,
True.
there are so many people in the world that need to hear your story. So choose faith for 17 seconds at a time if you have to, because that's all you get is right now. Practice faith. It is not something you choose overnight. It is not
Mm.
something that all of a sudden you are all about for days on end.
Mm.
No, you have to
Mm.
practice faith. You have to sit and you
Mm.
have to breathe and you have to hold yourself still. You have to love
Mm.
yourself like the love that you've always wanted. You have to
Mm.
give that to yourself in order for you to
Mm.
witness the miracles that faith can put into your reality. That is my message.
That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And that makes so much sense, Amber, because I am a living experience of what you said exactly. And because my fear took over me and my whole life, I developed anxiety, and I had a panic attack, and I realized in my deepest, darkest moment when I never let go of my faith. That I think that was my biggest blessing, because faith was something I never let go of God. And I knew even in those darkest moments that God is with me. God's got a plan. God's got a plan for me. And one night, it was just like I said before, it was just my awakening that God told me that, what are you doing? You have so much faith in me, then let me control everything. I got you, girl. I got you. Stop worrying. Put the fear aside and take a leap of faith. Choose your path and believe in me. And that's what I did. I said, I'm not listening to anybody anymore. I will take a step, I will stand by it, and I have my God with me. And God is the best of planners, and He will find a way for me. And like you said, miracles have happened, things happen every day. And when I feel even for a split second that, oh, I'm going to fall, I say, oh no, I got God. I got nothing to worry because I got God. These toxic people can say what they want. That's not my reality. So I'm not going to be feared by them because I got God. And
I've
that's what I
got
tell
I've got
people.
one thing to add to that for anyone that needs to know this, for anyone that needs to hear this. I want you to come up with your dream life, write it down, write down what a dream life looks like to you. And if anyone tries to give you advice or tries to say something to you, I want you to compare their life to your dream life. And if they don't have your dream life, then who are they? They don't matter to
Exactly.
you. They don't have
Hmm.
anything worthy of your ears listening to what they have to say because they don't have the life that you're dreaming of. They don't have
True.
anything good for you right now. You
Mm.
listen to people who motivate you and who inspire you to be the kind of person that
You're
creates the
meant to
dream
be.
life.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
to add to that.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and that's I don't know if you heard that, but today I put it in my story, and this was the thing because I was so frustrated in the morning, and that's what I went on and said, and I told people the same. I said the same message. I said, stop listening to people, stop letting people set your standards. Nobody sets your standard. It's your life. Are they paying for you for your breathing? The last time I checked, no. So if you're not paying for my breathing, you don't control my life. Who's paying for my
Amen.
breathing? God. Yeah, God's.
Amen.
So take control of your life. Do what makes you happy. You're going to live this
Yes.
life once. Be happy. Do it fully. Live unapologetically.
Yes.
And and give people hope. Give people love. That's that's
Yes.
that's what our purpose is, to live together in harmony, in love, in acceptance, in tolerance. Let them practice whatever faith they want. Give them
Yeah.
that support.
Lead by
One person will
example.
lead by example,
Yes,
and
be
one
the love.
person's belief. One person, Amber, you need
Yeah.
one person to support you and believe in you, and you see your life fills up with miracles. It's
Amen.
like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh my gosh.
Amen.
um Thank you so much for coming on board and sharing your story.
Thank
And
you.
I think everybody on this stream can say that you've lifted everybody's vibration to a higher level. I feel it in my body. It's like literally 1 a.m. here, and I'm
You're like,
supercharged to
I'm
run a
gonna be up for
marathon
like
right now.
4 more hours.
I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a marathon now. Let's go there. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Love you. Thank you
I
so
hope
much for
to
having me.
love you too.
Oh,
And I hope to meet more people like you. And I hope that we do more conversations like that.
yes.
And when I have an audience who's really down, I'm going to click on your button and say, we're going live with Amber.
Let's
Let's
do
set
it.
our vibration. Let's do that, right?
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
For
Ah,
those of you who are still interested in her, guys, like always, I will tag her after this under my IGTV. Connect with
awesome.
her, reach out to her. She's amazing. Look at her hair. She's already amazing. Don't need to say that more,
Ah!
right? All
I
right,
love
on that
you.
note, guys, we're gonna wrap it. Love you, Amber. Take good care of
You
yourself.
too.
Everybody, bye bye.
Bye.